Thanks. I think the order of debates this afternoon is quite symbolic, and I would hope that from here on out we can put the future of Europe first, because it's the more important debate that we need to have now rather than to continue debating Brexit. On the question of resolution and working group, I think these two procedures are highly complementary. They treat with different aspects of this debate. And I agree that it makes sense if the Parliament wants to take the lead on this to come out with a resolution that gives the big outlines, right? We support the process, we offer our support and our premises for the conference that can take place in part, I suppose, at least here in our buildings, and then at the same time in the working group to fix the more detailed whatever composition and working methods of the conference. I don't think that those two procedures block each other, but I think it is quite important that the House in the plenary takes a decision on this, because that is sort of the strongest mandate that the European Parliament can give, and is a very different mandate than a paper that has been endorsed by the Conference of Presidents. So I think also in order to strengthen our hand with the other institutions, a plenary vote is quite crucial. Then I think when it comes to the conference itself, the most important element for me is that we commit to change. This cannot be another citizens' dialogue where we listen yet another time to what people expect from the European Union, but that we send a very clear signal from the beginning. The outcome of this conference is going to lead to legislative change wherever it's in the area of legislation, and to treaty change wherever it is in the area of treaty change. And that I think it is crucial for anyone that will engage with this conference that they know that there will be real outcome. That is the strongest motivation to engage with the process that we can give. And if you signal to people, we'll discuss and we'll see whatever comes out of this, maybe nothing happens, then I think no one will engage with the process. Gabi Bischoff has already alluded to some of the shortcomings of the last process and the convention. And I think the conclusion we have to draw is we have to be as inclusive as possible. All those institutions that will be involved in making outcomes happen at the end, also in terms of ratifying treaty change, for example. I think the better approach is probably to involve them early on, and I mean, maybe we can rediscuss that with Guy Verhofstadt. I think if national parliaments have to ratify potential treaty change at the end of the process, not including them from the outset is probably not going to make the likelihood higher that we manage to ratify the outcome of the conference. I think in terms of the diversity and inclusiveness, particularly on the side of citizens, we would have to make sure that it reflects Europeans in terms of gender, in terms of age, in terms of geographical representation, so that if there is citizen representation in this, and I think there absolutely should be, it needs to reflect that European diversity. And I have to say the experience, particularly from Ireland with these randomized citizen assemblies, I think is very good, and something that we should look into in detail and see how we can reproduce such a process at the European level. Finally, in terms of what are we actually going to discuss in this conference, I think in order to reach Europeans everywhere, to make this debate as broad as possible, we have to, of course, engage with the large controversies, right? We should take the opportunity of this conference to, in a way, unblock some of the big debates where for years now we maybe haven't managed to come to a conclusion, be it on unanimity voting in the Council, be it on how large actually should the European budget be, how exactly should our European democracy work, European elections, and so on. What are the core values of the European Union? And again, I think the example of Ireland has clearly shown that a very controversial discussion on abortion, for example, with the help of these citizens' assemblies can be brought to a very fruitful outcome. So if that is something that we manage to replicate at the European level. I'm very hopeful for this process to be a success.